take a moment to welcome everybody to the Watch This Shit podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. My name is Seneca, the movie professor, and I have my collaborator and cooperator here, Young Sam. Go ahead and introduce yourself, young man.
Yo, it's Young Sam, aka the movie Apprentice.
I like that. With this podcast, we're going to give you the definitive decision on whether you should go view a new movie release or not. It's real easy. If we say watch this shit, stop what you're doing and then go enjoy some good cinema. If we say don't watch this shit, avoid it like loose pit bulls in the hood that you don't know. Or don't. Do what you want. It may be fun. It may cost you a chunk out your ass. You don't want to listen to us, you put your life in your own hands. All right. Today, we got a special treat for y'all. A real banger. Today, we're going to hit you with that Clone Tyrone. Yeah, that's right. We got a Netflix original movie to review today. Normally, I don't do this, but we're going to go ahead and hit you with a little preview of the remix. They Cloned Tyrone is a deep satirical look into the underserved communities of our country through sci-fi mystery lens. From the opening scene, the world presented seems lived in. The characters are going about their daily routines as if they have done this thousands of times. It feels real and grounded. You have the drug dealers, hustlers, prostitutes, and runners all moving in accordance with the actions their role demands. It's gritty and sad, but also funny and familiar. Tyrone explores themes of the struggle of Black people in America. Our people are pumped full of food that isn't good for us, music that causes us to perpetuate the stereotypes we are labeled as, and surrounded by opportunities that will always result in a loss. While the film can be enjoyed on the surface level for those not close to the source material, that being the real life of a minority, it is truly deep and provides a lot to be uncovered for those that care to take a closer look. All
Well
right.
said. Well said.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like this movie, for real. This movie, we'll get into it, but it's one of those things like it's one of those things that makes you think. Days later, I had to watch it again. Almost, I think I watched it again 2 days after I saw it the first time
Mm, okay.
because it was on my mind.
Well, let's get into it.
All right, let's go. So the way that I structured this one is the first thing we're gonna hit is the characters, and I'm gonna go about Jamie Foxx first. Jamie Foxx plays a pimp named Slick Charles, and yes, you have to say the whole name every time. On a serious note, he is phenomenal in this role. He shines in every moment of screen time and even utilizes his glow to elevate his co-stars, Teyonah Parris, Hello Nurse. Oh, you wasn't here for the Haunted Mansion review. So every time I mention a young lady in the cast that's beautiful, I go Hello Nurse like the Animaniacs used to do. And John Boyega. They fit together so well. They put me in the mindset of a ghetto Harry Potter trinity. Some of my favorite lines are straight from the old pimp cliche handbooks. These chickens ain't clucking like they used to. I almost died. Fox and Parrish were in an argument, and he made a comment about taking off his pimp suit, slapping her wig off her head, and getting back into his suit before it gets wrinkled. Not only was the line outright hilarious, the way Tiana played it, she shut up as if she was really offended. The line even paid off later during the finale of the movie. Someone, and I mean the writer and director, put a lot of love and care into creating the script. You got any notes or comments about Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx's performance was amazing. Just the way he delivered the lines, his comedic time, it was on point for Slick Charles. I really think he went deep into that character because it's one of his best performances to me since probably Ray.
I agree. Very strong. Very strong. John Boyega, he takes on the role as the straight man in this crazy community. He
Mhm.
plays Fontaine, a drug dealer with deep rooted tragedy that informs all of his decisions. When he is gunned down by rivals, that's when the sci fi element kicks in. He awakes in his home with no memory of his own brutal murder. The other inhabitants make comments that eventually lead to the three co stars investigating the shady going ons in their city. Boyega is called upon to play no less than six different versions of his character. The nuance that he puts into each of those performances is stellar. While Fox is the comedic genius of the film, Boyega, I believe, has the even harder job of making the audience care about a ruthless hooligan. Boyega, he's always had a lot of potential. Some of his bigger projects don't always show off that characteristic of his acting skill, and I'm thankful to have it here. He has a strong presence, and his character, kind of like what he did in Attack the Block, along with the determination of his character from breaking. Did you ever go watch Attack the Block?
I have not. It is on the list.
You gotta check it out. There's there's points in that movie. He was young. It was points in that movie where he embodied the screen presence of Denzel Washington.
Mm, okay.
Anything about Boyega before I move on to Tiana?
I mean, I've only seen Boyega in Star Wars,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay. And then I saw him in this, and I was like, okay, he really got into this role. He got into the role so much, I didn't even know he was British. I was like, man, he sounded like he is from the ghetto.
Hmm.
I was like, and then I saw interviews. I was like, he's British. Like, he played that role really, really, really well. I liked Fontaine. I liked the energy he gave to the role. I gave you a lot of emotion too. So that was my thoughts about Fontaine.
All right, and last but not least of the three mains is Teyonah Parris. She plays Yo-Yo. She effectively acts as the brains of the group, very similar to Hermione Granger, hence the Harry Potter reference. The way her character is written, you get small glimpses of her desires and dreams. All of this is done amongst the fight she has to quit the prostitution game. Because of just small bits of dialogue, when she makes conclusions that result in the mystery unraveling, it makes sense. There's a point in the movie that, if not for her, the others would simply resign themselves to their unfortunate fate. The movie would have came to a halt, and that would have been the end of the story. But her perseverance drives the other characters to take actions that result uh, in an amazing climax.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Her role was it was definitely needed. I don't see any other actress that could play that part as well as she did. And coming from, I think the first thing I saw her in was WandaVision.
Mhm.
I felt like she didn't really get an opportunity to kind of flex herself, but in this, she definitely kind of showed that she can play different roles. Because in WandaVision, she's more kind of reserved, and here she's playing a prostitute, and she is laying it all out. She fuck you,
Mhm.
all this. So I felt that she did a really good job with that character, Yo Yo.
Yeah, and it's a much bigger role and departure from what she played in WandaVision. I'm hoping that her character in the Marvels, because she plays the same character in the new movie that's coming out in November. I hope that they really give her a chance to flex her muscles on the screen.
Yeah, agree, agree. And just to kind of wrap up, I like all three of them. They just had the chemistry, and you could tell that
Mhm.
as soon as it started, like, okay, this is going to be something good because they all just seemed to just know each other. It's like it was no like because some movies you can kind of see it's like they're not really into it, but all three of these they were into it from the get go, and that's what had me hooked.
For real. Yeah. All right. This movie was shot on film, like old school film, giving it
Hmm.
a 70s black exploitation ambiance. You can even see the cigarette burns in the corner of the screen that marks the splicing together of reels. The detail and passion of the director doesn't stop there. I watched interviews with Juel Taylor where he reviews minute details about the filmmaking process, things that most people that consume media would never discover. To take on a task, even when people won't truly understand all the hard work that goes into adding small amounts of flair to a project, is a labor of love. There's a scene in which background extras are given instructions via music. Taylor had his sound engineer add Morse code under the music track that when decoded gives the exact orders that the extras were following. My mind was blown when I heard him talk about it.
Mhm.
And then that, of course, made me go further. So while researching this impressive director, I see that he also worked on the screenplay for another one of my favorite movies of the year, Creed 3. I'm looking forward to more projects from this up and coming talented man in the future.
Oh, he did Creed 3?
He did the screenplay, or
Uh,
more than likely, he was one of the writers on the screenplay.
oh, okay, okay. Because I was looking at his stuff he's known for. He actually wrote Creed 2, Tyrone, and the new Space Jam, which,
Yeah. Everybody
that's
messes up every now and then. Players fuck
yeah.
up.
But yeah, I'm definitely, um I hope they do a sequel to this, but we'll get into it.
That would be great. And I've seen some people on YouTube kind of go that direction where they believe that a sequel will get made. But yeah, we can talk about that in our final thoughts. Um, the themes and messages are littered throughout the entire runtime of this feature. The biggest one is the fact that a black man can be killed, then immediately replaced with another one playing the exact same role. That is scary and potent. Brainwashing that causes women to believe that straighter is greater in regards to their
Mm,
hair. Then you see the women in the hairdresser having the perm applied to their heads. Before they are full of ideas and solutions to the problems that are facing their culture. Once the chemical has time to set in, they lose all fight and are easily swayed into remaining in the status quo. The same goes for the food, which makes people more happy and docile. Watching television in this world only enforces the entry point into the cycle. The commercials promote the products that control the people. Once controlled, they're more readily open to suggestions from the commercials. I was like, oh my God, dude.
mm.
This is crazy.
Sound like real life.
It sounds exactly like real life. And that's what makes it even more scary. And that's what satire is, right? It's pointing a finger at what's happening in the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Now, of course, the real world device that is most used to control people's actions is on display here as well. Religion,
Mhm.
most specifically the Baptist Church. David Allen Greer takes a small amount of screen time and owns the scene as the preacher that pushes the people not to dwell on the troubles of their lives. No, if you're getting evicted, if your light bill is due, and the gas bill too, it don't matter. Just blindly trust the system that is controlling every aspect of your existence. Obedience is taught despite all the problems in life. Greer uses his amazing vocal talent to elevate this scene. One thing I never thought I needed was a Baptist church version of Back That Ass Up. But won't he do it? Especially after listening to the Juvenile Tiny Desk concert, this is a timely and amazing addition to already great material.
Agree, agree.
When you were when you were watching the church scene, did you
I
hear
was
the cue for the music? Like, did you?
I was like, That song sounds very familiar." And then when I got into the break, I was like, "Oh, that did they really do that?"
It sounds good
Oh,
too. It sounds good.
it does, it does. I want to find that, and I just wanna play that.
Yeah.
It's on
All right.
Spotify.
No, probably it's not. It's probably not on Spotify, but it should be. They do jazz renditions of songs sometimes, so maybe somebody will commit that act. If they probably will be putting their soul in at jeopardy. I don't know, but we'll see. Right.
We'll see.
All right. One last bit of brilliant storytelling that I want to call out is the lottery gag. Throughout the movie, Boyega's character purchases scratch offs. He typically scratches one of the circles on the card, which every time reads, "You lose." When he does build up the nerve to scratch them all, each one shows the same words. The wise, crazy homeless man delivers a line that is so profound. He simply says, "You lose always," which is a homophone of "You Lose Always."
Mhm.
ALWAYS and ALL space WAYS. Both meanings are implied and add to the tragedy of this world. And by the transitive property is using ours as well. That message was on some Confucius shit. Like I was that's another time that my mind was blown. I was on the edge of my seat. Like this dude, somebody wrote this. Somebody thought to write this, and it it resonated so deeply within me.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking about the old man, and every time he said something, at first I thought he's just a crazy old man, but then his role, the words he said became more important as the
Mhm.
movie went on. I was like, oh, okay. I was interested in that. I was like, okay, that's pretty neat.
It was. I didn't write anything about the soundtrack, but the
Oh.
soundtrack is amazing. Young Sam sent me the link to it last week before I even saw the movie, and I listened to it just sitting at my desk. And the the sound, it was very reminiscent of old school Outkast, that
Hmm.
gritty down south grunge feel, born out of struggle, born out of pain, born out of hope for the future. It has a funk jazz sensibilities, but modern.
Right. Hmm. Yes, I'm looking at the playlist, and it's Project Pat. You had a lot of just kind of, I guess, low lame. You had Big Crit on there.
Mhm.
Trinidad James Shiesty, which is one of my favorite songs from the record.
Oh yeah, that Shiesty is
Um,
dope.
but it
And the
does have
message of
that.
Shiesty that do what I say,
Yeah.
you are enslaved. What?
That God's Will was good, the one with Project Pat.
Mhm.
Those 2 are the songs I play on repeat, just because I love the beat to it and just how it flowed with the with the movie so well. It seems like
Exactly.
those songs were written specifically for the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they were. I can I can see that. All right. Now, I do have to take a moment to give an important quote to the film industry. I hope they're listening, and I want them to make sure that they hear every line of this. Fuck you, Hollywood. This movie should have been released in theaters. And I'm not talking about a limited 1 week release before it hit Netflix. I mean a full theatrical run. Listen, I know Flix doesn't have a great track record in regards to their created content, but when you have gold like this, hell, this movie is better than 80% of the films I've seen this year. And that's a generous percent because it's probably closer to 95. I'm going on record here as of today. They Cloned Tyrone is my second favorite movie of the year so far.
Ooh,
So far,
damn. Alright, 8 months in.
8 months in, it's that good.
Oh, yeah, I agree, it is that good. Most of the shit, better than all the movies that I've seen in theaters this year, just because, I don't know, it was different. And the movies that I've seen, like Oppenheimer, it was just a slog to sit through. But this one, it had your attention from the go, and it had you thinking, and you just something you just didn't want it to end.
Mhm.
And when it did end, you just had like a moment. It's like, damn, that I really just watched that and got a good message from it.
Exactly. All right, let's go into the final verdict. After hearing this glowing review, it could be nothing but watch this shit. I mean, immediately. These are the types of films we should support. Movies that call attention to the plight of man, but don't succumb to the hopelessness of the situation. Movies that shine light on the problem, but also promote the solution. By working together, making a unified front, we can change the world. And it starts by supporting this type of film.
Yeah, yeah, definitely go out and watch this shit. I wish, hopefully, they would probably release this on some type of Blu-ray or some physical platform, because it's just that good of a movie. I guarantee you, if you watch it, you won't be disappointed. You'll be vibing to the music. You'll have those moments where you'll be sad for Fontaine, you'll be happy for him. and it just all around it's an emotional roller coaster, but it's a good one. So definitely go out and watch this one.
For sure. Does Netflix even do Blu-rays? I don't know if they release.
I wish they would. I mean, probably with their track record of past movies, no. But
It
hey,
makes sense. They should.
I'll go sail on the high seas for it.
Yo ho ho. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Watch This Shit. You come here for the realest take on new movies. So make sure you follow us so you're not left in the dark on whether you should check out a movie or not. If you haven't seen this shit yet, hurry up. Hurry up. We're not playing with you. You need to go immediately. And check us out next time when we review Talk to Me. And good day to you.
All right, peace.